On the Eras Tour, each day is like a fairy tale. Beginning her first tour since 2018, Taylor Swift has delighted fans by surprising them with 2 acoustic performances throughout each 3-hour engagement, taken from her 10 studio albums. At her first engagement of the tour, the singer-songwriter told the crowd the goal, would be to play different songs every single night and never repeat one. The knowledge that there wouldn't be a second performance of the surprise song, unless Swift botches it live, as she stated at the April 1, 2023 gig, kept fans glued to their seats. Swift broke her own no-repeats rule in Melbourne, Australia in February 2024, and she has since started performing medleys. She has already performed Treacherous, Paris, and Begin Again. I Think He Knows, Gorgeous, Say Don't Go, Welcome to New York, Message in a Bottle, New Romantics, Now That We Don't Talk, High Infidelity, Jump Then Fall, King of My Heart, Long Story Short, I Know Places, All the Girls You Loved Before, Dorothea. I Can See You, Cornelia Street, The Great War, You're Losing Me, I Forgot That You Existed, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, The Lakes, Hits Different, Mean, Castles Crumbling, State of Grace, Sweet Nothing, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, Ours, The Lucky One, Guilty as Sin, Untouchable, Question. You Are in Love, Cowboy Like Me, The Only Thing You Had to Do Was Stay in Right Where You Left Me. Last Kiss, Sad Beautiful Tragic, Never Grow Up Wonderland, I Almost Do, The Moment I Knew, Mr. Perfectly Fine, Labyrinth, as well as Speak Now, multiple times. How You Get the Girl, The Other Side of the Door, Sparks Fly, Snow on the Beach, Our Song, 15, Would've, Could've, Should've, Daylight, Haunted, Exile, Mine, Gold Rush, Red, Death by a Thousand Cuts, This Love, Dress, Holy Ground, Everything Has Changed, Slut. We Played False God, This Is Me Trying, and Hey Stephen, 3 times. For times, the songs Come Back, Be Here, Is It Over Now, and Getaway Car have been played. 5 times each have Clean and Out of the Woods been played. 7 times now, Maroon has been played. 9 plays of You're on Your Own, Kid have been made. The entire list of songs that Swift has shocked her fans with at her performances thus far is provided here. Tim McGraw and Mirrorball were performed on March 17 in Glendale, Arizona. State of Grace and This Is Me Trying were performed in Glendale, Arizona on March 18. Our Song and Snow on the Beach were performed in Las Vegas, Nevada on March 24. Marcus Mumford and White Horse performed Cowboy Like Me on March 25 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ours and Sad Beautiful Tragic were performed in Arlington, Texas on March 31. Clean and Death by a Thousand Cuts, performed in Arlington, Texas on April 1. Leap Then Fall and Fortunate One in Arlington, Texas on April 2. Treacherous and Speak Now, performed in Tampa, Florida on April 13. The plays You're on Your Own, Kid and The Great War, starring Aaron Dessner, were performed in Tampa, Florida on April 14. Mean and Mad Woman, starring Aaron Dessner, performed in Tampa, Florida on April 15. Wonderland and You're Not Sorry were performed in Houston, Texas on April 21. The plays A Place in This World and Today Was a Fairy Tale were performed in Houston, Texas on April 22. Cold as You and Begin Again were performed in Houston, Texas on April 23. The plays Coney Island and The Other Side of the Door were performed in Atlanta, Georgia on April 28. High Infidelity and Gorgeous were performed in Atlanta, Georgia on April 29. How You Get the Girl and I Bet You Think About Me were performed on April 30 in Atlanta, Georgia. Teardrops on My Guitar and Sparks Fly were performed on May 5 in Nashville, Tennessee. 15 and Out of the Woods, performed in Nashville, Tennessee on May 6. Mine and Aaron Dessner's Would've, Could've, Should've were performed on May 7 in Nashville, Tennessee. Performers, Gold Rush and Come Back, Be Here, May 12, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This Love and Forever and Always, performed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on May 13. The Best Day and Hey Stephen played at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on May 14. More Likely to Say No and Better Man performed at Foxborough, Massachusetts on May 19. Query, and Invisible performed at Foxborough, Massachusetts on May 20. I Believe He Is Aware and Red played in Foxborough, Massachusetts on May 21. Maroon and Jack Antonoff in Getaway Car held at East Rutherford, New Jersey, on May 26. False God and Holy Ground held at East Rutherford, New Jersey, on May 27. Hello, How Are You? And Clean held in East Rutherford, New Jersey, on May 28. It Would Be Nice and The Lakes performed in Chicago, Illinois on June 2. I Don't Want to Live Forever and You All Over Me featuring Maren Morris were performed on June 3 in Chicago, Illinois. The Moment I Knew and Hits Different were performed on June 4 in Chicago, Illinois. I Almost Do and Haunted were performed on June 9 in Detroit, Michigan. The songs All You Had to Do Was Stay and Breathe were performed in Detroit, Michigan on June 10. The Last Time and Mr. Perfectly Fine were performed on June 16 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 7 Beside the Story of Us performed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on June 17. Paper Rings, Beside If This Was a Movie performed in Minneapolis, Minnesota on June 23. Performances of Daylight and Dear John on June 24 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Only Me When I'm With You alongside Evermore held in Cincinnati, Ohio on June 30. Call It What You Want and Ivy were performed in Cincinnati, Ohio on July 1. When Emma Falls in Love and Never Grow Up were performed on July 7 in Kansas City, Missouri. Last Kiss, Beside Dorothea held in Kansas City, Missouri on July 8. Picture to Burn and Timeless held in Denver, Colorado on July 14. Starlight along with Back to December performed in Denver, Colorado on July 15. This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things together with Everything Has Changed performed in Seattle, Washington on July 16. Message in a Bottle along with Tied Together with a Smile performed in Seattle, Washington on July 16. Right Where You Left Me alongside Castles Crumbling held in Santa Clara, California, on July 28. All of the Girls You Loved Before and Stay 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 were performed on July 29 in Santa Clara, California. Maroon and I Can See You were performed on August 3 in Los Angeles, California. You Are in Love and Our Song were performed on August 4 in Los Angeles, California. You're on Your Own Kid and Death by a Thousand Cuts were performed on August 5 in Los Angeles, California. Dress and Exile were performed in Los Angeles, California on August 7. I Know Places alongside King of My Heart performed in Los Angeles, California on August 8. New Year's Day and New Romantics were performed in Los Angeles, California on August 9. I Forgot That You Existed alongside Sweet Nothing performed in Mexico City on August 24. Snow on the Beach and Tell Me Why were performed on August 25 in Mexico City. You're on Your Own, Kid and Cornelia Street were performed in Mexico City on August 26. Afterglow alongside Maroon held in Mexico City on August 27. The Very First Night along with Labyrinth held in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on November 9. Is It Over Now? Out of the Woods along with Endgame held in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on November 11. Better Than Revenge alongside Slut held in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on November 12. Stay Beautiful along with Suburban Legends performed at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on November 17. Dancing with Our Hands Tied Together with Bigger Than the Whole Sky performed at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on November 19. Me, with So It Goes performed in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on November 20. Now That We Don't Talk alongside Innocent performed in São Paulo, Brazil on November 24. Safe and Sound as Untouchable performed in São Paulo, Brazil on November 25. It's Time to Go and Say Don't Go were performed on November 26 in São Paulo, Brazil. Holy Ground and Dear Reader were performed in Tokyo, Japan on February 7. Eyes Open and Electric Touch were performed in Tokyo, Japan on February 8. Superman and the Outside were performed in Tokyo, Japan on February 9th. You're on Your Own, Kid and Come In With the Rain were performed in Tokyo, Japan on February 10th. Red and You're Losing Me were performed in Melbourne, Australia on February 16th. Performance of the medley Getaway Car /August The Other Side of the Door and This Is Me Trying on February 17th in Melbourne, Australia. Daylight /Come Back. Be Here medley and Teardrops on My Guitar were performed on February 18th in Melbourne, Australia. The mashup of White Horse and Coney Island and How You Get the Girl was performed on February 23rd in Sydney, Australia. The medleys New Year's Day and Peace and Should Have Said No and You're Not Sorry were performed on February 24th in Sydney, Australia. Is It Over Now performed a mashup of I Wish You Would and Haunted and Exile on February 25th in Sydney, Australia. The medleys Forever and Always and Maroon and Would've Could've Should've were performed in Sydney, Australia on February 26th. Medleys of Mine and Starlight and I Don't Wanna Live Forever and Dress were performed in Singapore on March 2nd. Singapore's March 3rd performance of the medleys Clean and Evermore and Long Story Short and The Story of Us. The medley This Love / Call It What You Want and Foolish One / Tell Me Why played in Singapore on March 4th. A combination of Death by 1,000 Cuts and Baby and 15 and You're on Your Own, Kid performed in Singapore on March 7th. The medley False God / Slut and Sparks Fly / Gold Rush played in Singapore on March 8th. Paris and L'Amour were performed in Paris, France on May 9th. Is It Over Now / Out of the Woods medley along with My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys played in Paris, France on May 10th. Hey Stephen and Maroon were performed in Paris, France on May 11th. May 12th, Paris, France, The Alchemy / Treacherous medley and Begin Again / Paris medley. Peter and the mashup of I Think He Knows and Gorgeous played in Solna, Sweden on May 17th. May 18th, Solna, Sweden, Guilty as Sin and Say Don't Go / Welcome to New York / Clean medley. Message in a Bottle / How You Get the Girl / New Romantics medley with How Did It End performed in Solna, Sweden on May 19th. Played in Lisbon, Portugal on May 24th, the medley Come Back. Be Here and The Way I Loved You and The Other Side of the Door as well as Fresh Out the Slammer and High Infidelity. The medleys You're on Your Own, Kid and Long Live and The Tortured Poets Department and Now That We Don't Talk were performed on May 25th in Lisbon, Portugal. Played on May 29th in Madrid, Spain, where the medley Sparks Fly / I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can, and I Look in People's Windows / Snow on the Beach.